Good morning. My name is Gesara Setiu. My number is number 1. For the topic that I choose is stop translating in English. For me, it is true because if you have to speak in English, and for the first step, you cannot translating in English, but you have to thinking in English. It's very important. If you can thinking in English, it's easy if you have to speak. And from this video clip, I can get the 10 tips to have to thinking in English. Tip number 1. Surround yourself with English. It's easy to surround yourself with English, and it's easy step to have you can thinking in English, like watching movie in English, listening music in English, and reading book in English. These things make everyone can think in English, and not only think, but you can read, you can listening, and you can speak in English too. This thing can improve your English skill too. For tips number 2, speak out loud. It's very important. If you have to speak in English, please speak with confidence, because if you have to speak with confidence, the listener will easy to understand you, because your voice is loud and your personality, your face, your tone, everything is easy to understand. For example, if you have to speak like, hello, my name is don't do that, because it's easy, it's hard to listen, and it's hard to yourself to be confident. Next, tip number 3, use images. Our brain can remember the thing like a picture well than remember the thing in word, in vocabulary, or in the letter. Try to connect English word to their meaning by using actual images. Like you have to use flashcard for the begin. It's easy and it's the funny to have to remember, and then you will can understand and can remember the word with picture, because it's easy and it's funny to learn. Tip number 4, think in English during every activity. Use to thinking in English to describe what are you doing in a whole day, to describe what the activity, to describe the daily routine. It's very easy, because if you think to describe something in English, what are you doing, and you have to describe it yourself. It's an easy way to talk with yourself, and an easy way to think in English. Next, tip number 5, practice thinking in English during quiet moment. If you have free time, like 15 minutes before you go to bed, use the time to review and to think about what are you doing in a whole day, and if you do this, your heart, your mind will calm and relax, because it can review what are you doing all day and know what are you doing each day, and it can make you think in English. Don't have to use a lot of word, a hard word for the begin. Easy word, it easy. Next, tips number 6, avoid using translation app too much. It's easy to use application, right? But if you use a lot of application, it's easy to use. It's true, but you will not improve your English skill, because you can get the answer too easy, and your brain, your mind cannot remember, and they don't have a progress to get the meaning. It can destroy our thinking in English. For tip number 7, use context clue. If you have to read a lot of conversation, a lot of sentence, a lot of words, and have one word or two words, a few words that you don't understand in this sentence, don't mind and don't afraid too much. Use another word. Another word can be your clue to understand the sentence too. Tip number 8, keep a journal. If you read a lot of things in English, it's easy and it's the basic way to have to think in English, because when you read, you can think it. When you improve and help us when you improve the reading skill, it's improve your thinking skill too. Tip number 9, engage in conversation with native English speaker. Is when you have to talk with the native speaker, you will be afraid, right? But like me, my first English teacher, he is British, so when I have to speak to him, he always encouraged me, give a courage to me. Don't afraid, speak out loud. You are the best. He talk like that, and then I have a lot of confidence to speak in English. It's very great way to be confident and to have to talk with the native speaker. For the tip number 10, be patient and persistent. It's very important. Very, 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 very important tips, because every successfully will have a successful. They have the patience. The patience is the important thing that make us climb to do something and to have to do something every day until we have a successful. So I believe that if we are patient to do something, it will be successful. Thank you for your listening. Thank you for your listening today, teacher.